All right, now that we've got probably the most confusing thing out of the way, let's talk about some of the awesome stuff that Gmail can do for you with labs and extensions. Labs are experimental features that are not in the default Gmail, but you can enable them. Labs are generally made by Google people who have kind of cooked this up in their head and spent some of their free time programming and done their genius hour programming and making it. So the labs work, but they don't have the support of the regular Gmail, and Google's not ready to add them to the regular Gmail. So they're kind of a use at your own risk type thing. But all the labs in Gmail work well. I've never had any problem, never heard of anyone having any problems with them. But there's a lot of extremely useful ones, but they're not for everybody. So what I'm going to suggest you do is try some and see if you like them. And if you'll remember back how my Gmail, when I showed it to you a few minutes ago, or in one of the previous videos, looked different than yours did, it's because I have labs and extensions enabled. So let's look at some of them. In order to get to the labs, you click on the gear in the top right to open your settings. Click on Settings, and then you click on Labs tab. There's a tab at the top. It says Labs. Now, I'm not going to talk about all of them, but there are several useful labs. The first one is Canned Responses. What Canned Responses allows you to do is to kind of set up a form email and to quickly and easily paste that into outgoing emails. So for example, if you have an upcoming field trip and you're getting a lot of the same question about it over and over again, you can write kind of a canned response and use the Canned Responses lab to quickly send that email, so you don't have to type it out each time, or you don't have to look up your old email to copy paste it. You can just use the canned response to do that. It's pretty awesome. Google Calendar Gadget will just put a small little widget over there. I think it's on the left if I remember correctly, that shows you upcoming events on your Google Calendar. This is where the whole interfacing between Google Calendar and Gmail can get even stronger. So when I'm looking at my Gmail, I can just glance over and say, oh, I have a staff meeting today at 10. Oh, Easter's coming. Oh, there's spring break. So you've got all these different, you can just quickly and easily see what's on the upcoming calendar. The preview pane, what this does is this makes your Gmail look like this. I like Gmail, but I also like in Outlook the preview pane. I like the ability to click on an email and then kind of see what it is over on the right without actually opening it. So if you're used to that in Outlook and you like that functionality, you can get that in Gmail by enabling the preview pane lab. And then you have an unread message icon. I like this because a lot of times I'll have Gmail open on one tab and I'll be doing something else on other tabs. So you can quickly and easily see how many unread emails you have just by glancing over the tab. It'll have a number. Right now I have 0, but that number will increase as I get more unread emails. Chrome also has extensions. Extensions are programs written by third parties most of the time, by programmers or companies or things like that. They're not officially Google created. First off, before we do any of this, Gmail works best with Google Chrome. If you use Firefox or Safari or Internet Explorer, it makes me shudder to say it, it will work because it's written in HTML5 and all of those browsers support HTML5. However, it works best with Chrome because Google made Chrome and Google made Gmail, so they made sure that all the functionalities work best. With Chrome, you get all of the options, while with Firefox and Safari, you might not get all of the options. Now, extensions only work with Google Chrome. You cannot get extensions for Firefox, not the same extensions for Firefox and Safari, and the extensions written for Gmail are not nearly as good with Firefox and Safari. So there are tons of Chrome extensions that can augment your Gmail experience. You can make your life a lot easier with Gmail by using Chrome extensions. I'm only going to talk about a few, but there's tons out there. The first one is Boomerang. This is probably my favorite. It adds several different functionalities to your Gmail. One is that it will allow you to basically remind yourself of an email you received. What it does is, so let's say that you receive an email in April about what you need to do at the end of the year to close out before going home. So you've got your classroom checklist, you've got this, that, and the other that you have to do, and you start to receive those emails or a lot sooner than you're actually going to use them. What Boomerang allows you to do is say, remind me of this in a month, in a week, at a specific time, and it will remove that email from your inbox so you don't have to look at it, and it will send it back to you at that date, at whenever you choose. This is really useful. So what Boomerang also allows you to do is to delay the sending of your email. So if you want to send an email to somebody, to like a parent or a student or whoever, but you don't want to send it until next week. But if you wait until then, you might forget to write it. What you can do is you can sit down, you can write it, and you can tell Boomerang, if you'll notice there at the bottom where it says send later, check that box and you can tell it to send in 2 days. And you can also set trigger functions. So if you haven't received a reply to it, you can write a follow-up email right then. So let's say you want to contact a parent, you can send them, say, hey, I'd like to talk to you about Johnny. He's doing a great job, but he's struggling with this. And you can say send later by checking this if the parent hasn't replied. So you send the parent one email and then go ahead and just immediately write a reply to it. Say, hey, I haven't heard from you. I still need to get a hold of you and talk to you about Johnny. And then say, send this in 2 days if no reply, if the parent hasn't replied. And it won't send if the parent replies. But if they don't, it'll automatically send it for you, so you don't have to remember that. And I know as a teacher, as an administrator, a lot of time we got 7,000 irons in the fire, and it's hard to remember every single email we need to send. This way you can go ahead and write it and get it done and get it out of the way while you're thinking about it. Another extremely useful extension that I use constantly is Checker Plus for Gmail. They have this for Gmail and Calendar and a lot of other things, but the one I use is for Gmail. What it does is it allows you to very quickly and easily receive emails for multiple Gmail accounts simply by using the extension. If you'll notice, I am currently logged into 3 different accounts. These are the 3 main ones that I use. I've got my Darlington County one, I have my personal one, and I have my Coker one. That's my Coker Professor one. And this will allow me to stay logged in as just Joshua.Bastine at Darlington, and I don't have to log into the Mr. Bastine and the J. Bastine at Coker one every day. This stays logged in for me in the background and just shows me the emails. And from here, you can mark it as read, you can archive it, you can reply, you can open it up. You can do pretty much everything that you would do in Gmail quickly and easily from this one little plugin, this one little extension. It's great. I highly recommend Checker Plus, and this is the free version. Both Boomerang and Checker are free. Everything we've talked about is free. Checker Plus does have a paid version that gives you some more functionality, but most people don't need it. The great majority of people would be perfectly fine with Checker Plus, and the paid version is only like $1 or something like that. So if you do want the advanced functionalities of customizing your notification sound or something like that, it's just a couple bucks. Now at this point, what I'd like you to do is to go and enable some of those labs, go find some extensions, install them, and see if you like them. Go play around. I highly recommend you get both of these that I mentioned, but there are, like I said, tons more. So go out, get a few of them, try them, see if you like them. You can always disable them and uninstall them if you don't. You can change them at any time. It's wonderful. Go ahead, see, just play around. See what you like.